Alright, so this is how it looks when you load it up. And as you can see, you got a killer GUI going here with this industrial look over the Marshall looking amp. And I believe that this replica model is a model after Dino's own JCM 800 with a bit of extra tweaks that available right here. I'll just play through them in a bit. So what I'm gonna do basically is just to play through the amp sim and tweak some knobs and see what tones we can get out of it. And if something strikes my ear, I'm gonna stop and then talk about it. But basically, I'm just gonna do what most people do when they get the amp sim right out of the box, as I have right now. It's just to play through it basically and see what tones we can get out of it. But just to quickly go over the different amps that are available in this amp sim, you get the Martyr amp, which is a clean amp. The Replica amp, which is a model after the infamous JCM 800 from Dino's own collection. And last you have the Protomek amp, which is a high gain amp with 5 different modes. And these are tone matched high gain tones from various points of Dino's career, which will be really cool to go through. So those are the amps, and down here you have your standard JST signal path. You got some pedals to choose from, chorus, delay, lo-fi, overdrive and reverb that goes in front of the amp, and then the amp itself. And you got your cab selection here. It's a dual or a single cab simulator with really vast collection of IRs that they've included in this plugin. And afterwards you have your post effects, chorus, delay, lo-fi, overdrive and reverb again, which is really cool to have the possibility to load up an overdrive after the amp. And then you have the EQ, which is really in high detail, either digital with I think it's 24 different points that you can choose from, if I'm not mistaken, or the classic analog Neve style EQ. And lastly you have the dynamic section with some really nice possibility to control the low end, as well as a standard limiter, which is available in most other JST amp sims. And just to quickly show you a neat little feature that they have here, is that you can tell the amp sim what guitar you're using, if you're using a 6-string, 7-string or 8-string guitar, and also what tuning you're playing in. And if you set all these parameters correctly, so to speak, what you're using and what you're playing in, the internal modeling system changes to match your equipment basically. So that's really cool. But as I said, I'm just gonna go basically over the amps, tweak some knobs and see what tones we can get out of this one. So I'm gonna start off with this Martyr amp and then just play through them all and see what tones we can get out of it. Yeah, you get some really nice clean tones out of this amp, which also some broken up gain to it as well if you integrate this burn knob here. So enough with this one. Let's move over to the Replica and then just check that it's all in default. Let's just go through that one. Yeah, by just having all the buttons on noon, cranking some gain with this Devour knob here, adding some gate to it since it gets a bit noisy, I think you get some really nice and thick high gain tones out of this amp. So let's just tweak all these and see if we can shape the tone a bit further. Yeah, sounds kick-ass. Let's try this power amp switch from tube to solid state. So the tip here down here says that to increase the volume to drive output tubes, but then I think you have to take down the output knob here. So I'm gonna take that down and just crank the volume and see what comes out of it. Yeah, it saturates the tone more, so it's a nice, cool feature. I'm gonna leave it at 50% again as the default setting, and then put it up to 0 dB again, like that. That's really cool as well, that if you take down the gain and just dig into the guitar, I really got some nice tones out of it as well. Less gain, but would work really well in a mix, and could make a bit more clarity in the tones. So by taking down the gain and digging into the guitar, I got the amp to sing as well. So that was really cool. So let's move over to the Protomek and see what we got going there. It's gonna just flick between these 5 modes and then tweak the amp here and see what tones we can get out of it. Starting with the monolith and working my way down. Yeah, so 5 really different characters. Really like it how they change drastically when you flick between them. So it's gonna just pick one of these, just start off with the monolith and tweak this, see what tones we can get from that. Yeah, some rocking tones there, no doubt about it. Alright, so we got some really nice and thick rhythm tones. Let's see if we can dial in some lead tones as well. So what I've done here is that I've used a Replica amp and just tweaked some knobs here. And I thought it sounded really nice. And just added the delay and the reverb. Set the mix for the reverb on about 20%, 17%. And the mix for the delay for 22%. And changed some IRs and some mics. Looks like this. With no pre-FX and no EQ, and just got some low-end compression, but I think that's not gonna do anything to the sound for the leads. So well, let's mainly hear how the delay and reverb sound with the settings on the amp. So let's try it out. Let's change it up to a slower delay. Yeah, really tasty. Let's see if we go back to the clean amp, to the Martyr, and maybe we can dial in some dreamy clean tones as well. Just use the delay for a half note and then just add a bunch more decay, add some size, and then more mix. See what we can get out of it by doing that. More mix, come on. Really dreamy. Awesome. And these tones are just by using the standard dual cab setup here with two rectifiers with a blend of 50% with condenser mic on the left one and dynamic mic on the right speaker. But as I said, you can tweak this blend knob here to get a really drastic difference on the tones. If, for instance, if you just crank it to the right, check out the rectifier. And compare it with 100% on the Marshall cab, and then with a different mic as well. As you can hear, just by blending the different cabs one way to the other, you get really drastic tonal differences. So by using any of the IRs that are included, or your own IR, changing the different mics that are available as well, and the positioning of them, with the blend knob, you get really vast tonal choices that fits your playing the way you want it. Yeah, so that's it. I hope you liked the playthrough in the beginning and the quick demo rundown of this plugin. If you want to check it out yourself, head over to JST and they offer a 14-day trial. So there's no excuse for you to just download it and try it out for yourself. And if you want to support me, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I release a new video, and put a thumbs up to this one, really matters to me. And until the next one, see you later.